right. Good morning, everyone. I am Greg Belkin, Jitterbit Senior Director of Product Marketing here at Jitterbit. It's good to be with you. I'm also the host of Jitterbit Breakfast with an Executive. So it's 7:15 a.m. here in the Ashburnham, Massachusetts office of Jitterbit, also known as my kitchen. And I have to tell you, I do my best thinking early in the morning before the wife and kids wake up. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, my favorite time of the day. And because I have lots of free time on my hands this morning, I was thinking a lot about App Builder. And I managed to convince one of my favorite people here at Jitterbit to come on with me and answer a few questions about App Builder. And I have, to that effect, I have with me Robert Collins, who is Jitterbit's App Builder Account Specialist. So he's the man. Robert, welcome to Jitterbit's Breakfast with an Executive.
Hey, here we go. Toast.
All right, sounds good. I got my coffee right here.
Here we go. Same here. Yeah, Greg, I'm kind of laughing because I always thought that Alan, I don't know, Alan seems to believe that that he is your actual favorite person here at Jitterbit, but
No
we have to
comment.
talk to Alan about that. Right, right. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
exactly.
thank you for inviting me here today to discuss my background and answer any questions that you may have. Let's get started. I'm excited about it.
All right, sounds good. So I've got lots of good questions about App Builder integration, hyper automation, and I guess I just ask you to kind of start with a little bit of kind of a background-ish question. I mean, you come from an LCAP background. What brought you here to Jitterbit?
Greg, you know, the question was actually asked a great question. I'm glad that you asked that. And when I interviewed with Jitterbit, I was really highly impressed with management. I mean, I've worked with and interviewed with Alan, Singu, and Mike, and they were all really good people. But overall, initially when we opened discussions, I was a little perplexed and a little puzzled as to why I would want to leave an LCAP company and join an iPaaS or integration platform as a service company. But upon interviewing and hearing the vision that the company is embarking on, which is this hyper automation vision, it really resonated with me. And one of the reasons is that I was oftentimes working with companies and discussing with them digital transformation initiatives and goals. Everything from getting rid of paper-based processes, creating custom workflows, integrating some of the Web 3.0 technologies, whether it be robotic process automation, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, all of these new modern technologies. I would oftentimes talk with the company, and my conversation with them as far as integration was concerned would stop at me discussing what endpoints they wanted to integrate, in with an LCAP or a low code application development platform, right? So, again, my conversation would typically stop with the integration piece, but then my conversation would move towards the digital transformation initiatives. And I would talk about what they would do or what their goals were, with the data beyond those endpoints. So when Singu and Mike and everyone mentioned the hyper automation, a light bulb, went off in my head. And I said, wow, this is going to be something that is going to really be the next cutting edge in the integration platform as a service
Mhm.
sector. And I've always been a technologist and always like the idea of joining an organization at that right time and at the right point. And I feel that Jitterbit is right time, right point.
Mhm. Yeah,
I was really excited to jump on board and to be a part of this hyper automation goal.
great. Yeah, I can absolutely relate, Robert. I come from an analyst background before I joined Jitterbit, and I really spent in that role spent a lot of time with customers and with the solution provider community, and I totally understand about the right time and the right place to really make a difference in operations and in our customers' day-to-day experience. So I can totally relate to that. Let me ask you another question. We talk a lot about data integration and low code. Talk a little bit about the two of them together. I mean, why is data integration and low code really kind of that winning combination for our users, for Jitterbit users, and just for companies in general?
Greg, we got to realize that data is really the lifeblood of a lot of companies, right? I mean, if you take a look at Facebook, right? All they're really doing is selling data, right? So they allow people to use their platform to communicate with their friends, family, et cetera, et cetera. But they're compiling a lot of data on all of us, right? And by them compiling that data, they're able to make millions and billions of dollars using that data, whether it's selling advertising, and basically leveraging that data to build a company around that data.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, in speaking with companies on a daily basis about digitally transforming their businesses, the whole goal of digital transformation is to make doing business with their clients easier, right? Because you got to keep in mind that nowadays everyone is using a mobile device, tablet computer to go about taking care of business in their day-to-day lives, everything
Mm-hmm.
from scheduling doctor's appointments, getting their car serviced, scheduling and calling an Uber to get a ride to the airport. So mobile devices is the way that you know companies need to interact with their clients,
Yeah.
right? So digital transformation is the way to make it easier to do business with your clients. But underneath all of that is the data, which is the lifeblood.
Yeah.
So with iPass, right, and Harmony, we're actually, managing that client's data and moving it, and we're the piping that makes that data all possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Connecting everything together. And what better way to be able to leverage and access that data than, using App Builder, right, to allow a company to further use that data and move data beyond those standard systems of record or endpoints.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Couldn't agree. Couldn't agree more. And it's funny, there's this, expectation from us personally that it's just going to work like in the background. When we access our mobile devices, this data is going to be in the right place, in the right location to really, to execute on our own personal needs. And that expectation easily flows right into our professional lives and from a business perspective. And so that's really one of the great ways that App Builder, I think, really brings in and ties it all together and meets a critical expectation.
Yeah.
So last question. Tell me a little bit about Jitterbit's role in all this. I mean, how does Jitterbit help companies with their digital transformation initiatives?
Right. So, oftentimes companies, when they're moving that data, again, we are currently, I mean, with Harmony, right? We were going in and we were just saying, hey, look, let us manage the data for you. Let us provide the piping that's going to get your data to and from these back office systems of record. And now we're having more intelligent discussions with them. And we're saying, okay, not only do we want to move that data, let's talk about how important that data is, who needs to use it, why they need to use it, how they need to use it, right? And again, we talk about that concept of hopping the fence. Okay, just envision the fence being the end of an endpoint,
Mm-hmm.
right? End of a CRM system, at the end of an ERP system, right? There's always someone that needs to access and to use that data. Okay, and again, if we have discussions where we stop at that endpoint, right? There's a whole nother world that we are now able to take full advantage of when we talk about hopping that fence and moving beyond that data beyond that fence or beyond those endpoints, right? So now we've embarked on assisting them with mobile enabling processes. I mean, a real good example would be someone using an old system of record, AS400, right? There's an analogy that I'm used to using before. It's a kind of funny one. It's the putting a new dress on grandma or a new suit on grandpa, right? So all that means is that grandpa and grandma is that old system of record, all of that historic, very, very important data, okay, is there. And if you're using a mainframe computer, I mean, people can relate to how cumbersome it may be to use a mainframe computer where you're actually having to log in and access it using antiquated ways of accessing, again, that data, right? So if we can talk to a company where we're already managing that old data, but guess what? Now we can talk about putting a new suit or a new dress on grandma or grandpa. The new suit or the new dress is mobile enabling a specific process, right? Now you can create a mobile UI, attach it to that old legacy data system, and now that old data is usable in a more user-friendly way. Right? So now what you've done is you've actually streamlined processes, you've increased efficiency, and you've made use of some of that very, very important data in a new way.
Great. Well, this is such an exciting time for low code, for hyper automation, and for Jitterbit and the industry in general, and probably most importantly for our customers who live and breathe this stuff every day. So this is a wonderful time, and I'm going to leave it at that. And I just want to thank you for joining this early in the morning. I know it's early.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to more on the Jitterbit Breakfast with an Executive section. Now that the interview is done, I'm going to finish my coffee, enjoy my cereal, and get ready for my day. Thanks,
Right.
Robert. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.